All right, it was just one of those days where I'd rather just do a video where we go over the trades instead of I kind of just don't feel like editing my recording of like the live trades. So if you prefer that style, I'm really sorry, but we're just doing this today. On that topic, let me know what you guys prefer. Like, do you prefer watching the live trades like what most of my videos are, or do you like where I just go over them like what we're doing today? Or if you don't mind, because it would be great if you didn't mind, because these ones are so much quicker and easier to throw together. Plus, I feel like I kind of go a little more into detail on why I took a trade, why I entered, why I exited, and stuff like that. But I also understand why you would like watching live trades, just to see my emotions, during the trade. So that's helpful as well. But we'll probably go back and forth just depending on the day. Today was kind of rough in the morning, so that's what we're gonna do. If you're new, I'm on a funded account with Apex. I have a 50K account. We're currently down at the moment, slowly working our way, trying to recover some larger losses we took like in the first couple weeks, using basically ICT's strategy and typically trading 5 micro contracts at a time. If you're interested in an Apex prop firm or just prop firms in general, but specifically Apex, I have a link in the description, and right now you can get 80% off until June 12th. They just keep extending it, so you can wait and always get 50% off with that link and coupon, but they have 80% off until the 12th, so take advantage of that. Anyways, let's just get into the trades, shall we? So, morning, we just ripped up. As we were ripping up, and if you guys don't believe me, I can pull up my footage. Actually, I might put it in here. I don't know yet. We are ripping up, and on the 15-minute, I was scrolling back to see kind of where we were going, and there was this fair value gap that has not been tested, and I'm like, ooh. I was looking at it. I don't know if I really talked about it, but I was looking at it like this might be a juicy short right here. Get up in this, short around 70, a stop only like 25 points away or so, and I mean we went right up into that perfectly and just absolutely tanked. As we were coming down, saw this fair value gap with a taking out a swing low, but I didn't take it because there was no retest on it, so obviously that's not a good move. What messed me up today is that there's been several days lately where I noticed that we have this fair value gap that forms in the first minute of the day, and there's been plenty of days where we come back into that about halfway and then rip off of it. As you can see, I did not take the trade when I was talking about 6.9, 6.10. I should have bought right here, but I just didn't have any confidence in it because I don't normally take that trade. It's not really part of my setup. I recognize that it happens, but I don't normally take it. Of course, go up to 20 points of profit, more than 20 points of profit. So could have taken that trade and been green. Of course, I waited and got in on the second test, and that didn't play out. I shouldn't have even been looking for that because that's not my setup. My setup is fair value gaps taking out swings. This is a swing right here, and this is the fair value gap, and we took it out. I need to wait for that to come back up and test it, and if it doesn't, I don't get in. While I was in this trade, I had my setup did form right here. Here's a gap taking out 2 swing lows, and we came back up into it and tested it. Could have got in here at 614. Would have had to put a stop up here, but I could have scaled down. I didn't get into this trade because I was like, well, I just got out of a losing trade and I don't need to jump back into a trade, even though it's a beautiful, perfect setup. Should have just got in right there, but this trade really set the tone for the day and messed me up. So I'll pull up my performance, but for this trade, I had 5 freaking contracts. I was already down 262 on that, which I'm not really trying to pay attention to my P&L. I'm just trying to really work on waiting for perfect trades and take those trades, which is why I took away my performance center during my trading sessions. So anyways, that was a setup. Boom. Could have taken that. I saw it. I noticed it. I recognized it. And I told myself, don't take that trade because you just got out of a trade. Even though this trade was not part of my strategy. So I shouldn't have even been in it anyways. And I should have actually allowed myself to go ahead and take this one. Anyways, as you all know by now, we just kept tanking. And I was kind of scared to take any of these setups just because we were moving so much. Like, here's a swing low. It's hard to see because, anyways, there's a swing low right here where we got stopped out. Fair value gap, taking out swing low, came back up, retested, could have got in there. Fair value gap, could have gotten here. Anyways, lots of opportunities. I did take this one right here. It's hard to tell, but I got in right at like 513 on this test. I got in late because I was just nervous. We had a huge move, so it's like kind of like scary to take a short. Like, is it really going to keep going? And I also don't want to I also don't want to bet on it reversing because it could keep going. And it's like weird territory when we have days like that. So took this one. I scaled down to 2 contracts though. 1 to handle this risk, and 2 because I just took a pretty decent loss. So didn't want to take another huge loss, but that one gave me back like $100. Waited around, and then I really started messing up here. Just wasn't in a good mindset. I came in today with my psyche just messed up from yesterday because yesterday was a pretty decent red day, and it had nothing to do with my entries. My entries were like picture perfect. I just didn't exit at the right time. And I was telling myself last night and this morning, don't go into today looking to change your entries, because your entries all worked out. All 3 of them worked out perfectly. But that red day was just glooming over me and just really messing me up. And I think that's why I looked for a different setup. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to. I just, something took over and just took that trade when I never take that. It's just hard. It's really hard for me to recover from red days. So I have to really be careful. And maybe in the future, just when I have a red day, just skip a whole trading session. I don't know. Still working on figuring out what's going to be best for me for that. So that brings us to this trade. Came down. At this point, we were around a new day opening gap and close to a new week opening gap. So here's that new day opening gap. That's where we were. So we came up kind of to the height of it around, or to the middle of it or whatever. And I was like, well, that we just came down, traded through it, and we're going to break on past it. And we have a fair value gap right here, a very tiny one breaking this little swing low. Obviously the market slowed down quite a bit and took a loss because this wasn't really that good of a setup. I was talking about it, saying that if I have to squint to see the fair value gap and to see the setup, I'm really pushing it. I'm trying to see things that I want to see. So recognize that wasn't a good trade. Of course, I was in 5 contracts and took a pretty decent loss there. And then this moved down, jumped in again, small, teeny tiny fair value gap, taking out a swing low. Wasn't the trade. It did go down a little, almost 20 points. Even if I had my take profit at 20 points, I probably wouldn't have gotten filled because we were right at 70 and that would have been at exactly 50, and we didn't quite hit it. So another loss there. At least I kept my stops where they need to be. Anyways, we keep going, and then here's a move with conviction. Huge move down, breaking this swing low, breaking this swing low, breaking this swing low with a fair value gap with the retest. Got in at 5 contracts right there at 451. I was targeting 390, and I was targeting 390 because on the new week opening gap, which are these black lines that I have here, I can't remember. I think it's from this past week. I can't remember. I gotta zoom out and look, but 390 was like close to the halfway point between the high and the low. So that's what I was targeting, and I had like a stretch goal of the 330 obviously down there. Like that would have been great, but as you can see, as of the market right now, we did come down to roughly the midpoint, which I guess would be closer to 80, 70 to 80, but I was saying 90 just to be safe. And we came down to 90, 96, and then we started moving up, and I'm like, I need to just exit. I mean, that's 49 points that I got out of that. That's a good trade right there. Had I waited for that or taken any of the setups that I mentioned this morning that were perfect, we wouldn't have ended red today. But I'm officially done. Here's my performance if you want to see that. I know some of you guys like to see that. So we are ending the day minus 128 after commissions. With 5 contracts, that's 12 points. I'm not worried about that at all. Tomorrow, if we stick with our frickin' plan and our frickin' rules, today will be nothing. If we could have taken any of these good setups, we would be well into the green today. So yeah, this was a good trade. Pretty good exit based on new week opening gap. And a good entry. All around great trade. We got in at 14,402. The highest it ever got to, what did I just say? We sold at 14,451, and the highest it ever got to was 5.7. So we took 6 points of drawdown and got just about 50 points out of it. Pretty satisfied with that. So let me know how you guys did. I already saw one of your guys' videos, and Mr. Jack was able to capture this move here in the morning. You may see him in my comments. He's been a subscriber from the beginning, before I even got to 80 subs, I think. So I've been talking for a little while now, and he actually started posting videos in a strategy that he uses for this opening. I recommend checking that out if you want to. It's a pretty simple strategy. I'll let him explain it in his videos, and yeah, check it out if you're interested. I'll put a link in the description for his channel. Good stuff over there. But yeah, let me know how you all did. Did you guys get chopped up in this? Were you able to capture any of these moves? Plenty of ICT fair value gaps, plenty of entries, but it's scary shorting when it's already moved, 100 points. So yeah, I'm not gonna trade anymore though. There's some type of news coming out this afternoon, and I'm only down technically 12 points today. I don't want to risk anymore. We'll be back tomorrow, and we are going to stick to our plan. You guys have a good one, and talk to you all later.